What's happening, Nick Martinez, the Keto Dad here, and today we are going to talk about something that could be holding you back if you're allowing it to, and it could also be playing tricks on you. It's called the scale, and it's something that I believe is probably one of the biggest challenges in the keto world, challenges just in life in general, is the stupid scale, because people step on it and they start to read into themselves. They start to judge themselves. They start to judge their diet. They judge their lifestyle. They say, hey, this is working, or hey, this isn't, based upon a number on a scale. So what's happening? As you're joining me today, tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what you just had for lunch that's keto friendly. We had some keto leftovers here. I had a little bit of pulled pork. It was delicious, and some other fun stuff. So who's on? Where are you guys at? Type it in the comments. Hopefully Facebook decides to show me some comments here in a second. But we're going to talk scales. Now, in the comments, tell me real quick, do you step on the scale daily, weekly, monthly, yearly? When was the last time that you stepped on it? If it was this morning, type this morning. If it was last week, type last week. If it was last month, type last month. I'm just curious as to where people are at. My goal today is just to talk you guys through some thoughts that I have around the scale, and really kind of help to create an awareness around what it shows and what it doesn't show, and how, while you do keto, it may not be a linear journey when it comes to weight loss. Right? We want to have a conversation much more about fat loss than we do weight loss. So what's happening? Nicole from Lincoln, Nebraska. Hey, Katie from South Dakota, or Katie from South Dakota. What's happening? Angela from Oregon. Sarah, too often. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Megan. So have you ever felt stuck? Or have you ever felt like, oh, I'm in this plateau? Or have you ever felt like a failure on a diet, on keto or whatever, as a result of stepping on this dang thing over here? This right here. Oh my goodness. This thing, I'm telling you, causes more people to quit a healthy lifestyle than anything else. This little mechanism right here, this device, causes people to doubt, causes people to second guess themselves, causes people to say, I can't do this, causes people to say, I'm not good enough. But you know what the reality is? They can do it. They are good enough. They are doing the right things, but the scale is not telling them the whole picture. It's not telling them the whole truth. If this makes sense, give me a whole bunch of hearts and hit the share button, because everybody you know needs to hear this message. And here's the message. The scale tells you your relationship with gravity. It does not tell you what's going on inside of your body. What does that mean? It tells you your mass. It tells you, based upon the Earth's gravitational pull today, this is what you weigh. It does not tell you how much muscle you have versus how much fat you have. It does not tell you if you're actually getting leaner and getting stronger and you're increasing your health and your metabolism. It tells you what that number is, right? You don't own a scale. That's awesome, Jerry. I hate the scale this morning, but I'm trying to do it once a month, not to drive myself crazy. Yep, since September, haven't lost a pound, but haven't gained either. That's awesome, Michelle. So here's what's interesting. I'm going to share with you a little bit of my personal journey as far as the scale goes. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's happening inside of your body while you're going keto, while you're doing keto. So when I got started with drinking ketones back 4 years ago, I was 163 pounds, 163. And over the course of about a month or two, I went from 163 and I lost about 13 pounds down to 150. And over the last 4 years, I've gone from 150 to 176. Now, if you're just focused on a number on a scale, you'd say, oh my gosh, Nick, you gained all this weight. What's going on? But the reality is I've put on a little bit of muscle. I have a lot more muscle than I used to, about 26 pounds more. Now, the question is that a bad thing or a good thing? Now, you might be thinking, well, you wanted to do that. I don't want to gain muscle. But do you? Right? But do you? As a human being, the more muscle mass that you have, most of the time we don't see it as muscle. We just see it like our arm. Right? But the more that the muscle mass you have, the better your metabolism, the healthier you are, the more you're able to function. As adults, once you hit age 40, every single year you lose a small percentage of your body mass. Not in fat. You generally replace this body mass called muscle with fat. Right? So as we age, we're always losing that. What if there were a lifestyle, a way of living, that you could actually maintain that muscle and if not gain it? My mom, who's 66 years old, she initially, when she started drinking ketones, lost about 8 pounds, got down to the weight she got married at, and then slowly she started to gain weight. but she wasn't gaining fat. Like she wasn't any fatter like around her midsection than she was before, but the scale was going up. It was playing tricks with her mind. She was saying, Nick, what's going on? Why am I gaining this weight? I'm doing everything right. I said, Mama, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing water aerobics. I'm exercising a lot. And then she started to gain like shoulders, right? My mom's 66 years old, gaining shoulder mass. That's powerful for somebody that's that age, right? That's powerful because it's increasing their metabolism, helping them live a healthier life. But the scale doesn't show the whole picture. What's happening? And how are ya? The scale is horrible. I can be down like 10, then weigh again and up by 8. I mean, it's crazy. So the scale's not telling you like your retention of water that day. Your scale's not telling you how your body mass is. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. Here's what weight loss looks like in keto. In the beginning, some people will have this massive just release, right? The inflammation in their body just starts to go away because now you're not having this hypertension, you're not having this like bloating, and it goes away. As a result, you might lose 5, 10, 15 pounds over the first week or two. Then all of a sudden, it feels like it went like this, and you're here, right? And then when you're here, you're stepping on the scales like, oh man, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not doing this? And guess what you start to do in that situation? You create stress. And guess what happens when you're stressed? Cortisol comes out. Cortisol is a hormone that does a number of things. One of them says, don't burn fat, right? It blocks you from burning fat. And as a result, you get more into this, what we call plateau. And then what do most people do here? They quit. They say, oh, it doesn't work for me. I tried that. And then they go back to their normal habits. Or some stick with it. And then guess what starts to happen? It starts to drop down again. Now, in these periods of ups and downs, different things are happening inside the body for different people. But here's generally what causes some sort of plateau. You might start to shrink fat-wise, but because you're in ketosis, because you're eating keto, your body is sparing muscle. And if you're doing any sort of movement, your body's like, sweet, I want to start building muscle. Because did you know that the standard American diet actually fuels fat cells and starves muscle cells? If you eat tons of sugar, if you eat tons of carbohydrates, you literally, that's the fuel that fat is made from. So your fat cells are like, oh my gosh, we feel amazing. Guess what? Your muscle cells are starving. So guess what? When you start to eat keto, you're fueling your muscles and you're starving your fat. Guess what? We've always heard this in class, muscle weighs more than fat, right? So your muscles are getting just a little bit stronger, a little bit heavier, and your fat's getting lighter. But guess what? If you do that in the same wavelength, you might lose 0 pounds, but now you have less around here. You might feel better. You might lose 0 pounds, but if you take a before picture and an after picture, you look different. How's that possible? The scale says the same thing. Picture number 2 that has you with less fat is a way healthier version than picture number 1. However, the scale tells you that you weren't a success, right? If this makes sense, type makes sense in the comments. If you're getting a little bit of something out of this, give me some hearts and hit the share button. And I'm telling you, if you can get this concept, you're going to create a much longer term lifestyle. You're going to create much more success in your health, and you're going to achieve any health goal that you want. What's happening? Sarah, 2 months in, totally wanting to give up, but I've plateaued. Got to push through. That's awesome, Sarah. You do. You just keep going, right? You just keep making great decisions. I want everybody on here to create a 2020 health goal. A 2020, what is life going to feel like when you wake up and it's 2021, January 1st, right? We're not creating a 30-day weight loss goal. We're not creating even a 60-day weight loss goal or a 90-day weight loss goal or a 100-day weight loss goal. The goal is create health in your life. The goal is show up every day as a more vibrant version of yourself. The goal is have better energy, have better focus, have better presence with your family, be able to do more and be more. Right? As that happens, guess what starts to follow? The scale. But does it look like a straight line down? No. It's not going to go like that. It's going to go down, and it's going to go up, and it's going to go like this. Down, up, and this. Here's what most people will do. It'll go down, they'll feel amazing, then it will stop. And because they're stepping on the scale and they're judging themselves by the number, they'll feel awful. The more that you feel awful, the more that this line continues. The more that you keep stepping on that scale and judging yourself and judging what you're doing, the more it's going over plateaued. So if you want it to go back down, you got to create a longer term vision. You got to keep doing what you know is right, which is going low carb, eating good healthy fats and moving your body. And you got to focus on how you feel on a daily basis, how you sleep, how you move, how you fuel your body. And guess what? That's going to create long-term success for you. I've been honing since June and I've lost 40 pounds and now I'm stuck. Well, stuck is what? Like, how are you feeling is my question. How are you moving? How are you sleeping? How are you fueling your body? If you look at those as your metrics rather than the scale, all of a sudden you can start to make a shift, right? And there's definitely a time to evaluate, what am I putting in my body? How am I moving my body? And in those situations, you might look at things, hey, what is it that could be holding me back? Am I eating tons of dairy? Maybe I should cut that out. Am I eating tons of nuts? Maybe I should reduce those. Am I eating something that could be inflammatory to me? Maybe I should switch that out. Maybe I'm eating a ton of peanut butter. Like, you can look for certain things. Maybe my diet consists of too much cheese and you can start to switch those. You can do a keto reboot with us. You can incorporate fasting. So there's a lot of things that you can do to kind of get things to shift and things to move. However, I would say 7, 8 out of 10 times, it's not necessarily that you're stuck. It's just the process that your body's going through. Sometimes your body's adding muscle, and then sometimes your body's burning more fat. And sometimes it's doing both at the same time. Sometimes it's dropping like this. Sometimes it's like this, and your body's changing. We always talk about how our kids grow. Like, they grow like this, and then they fill out. And then they grow like this, and then they fill out. Or like a puppy, which is really, really powerful. 1 pound a week equals 52 pounds a year. That's pretty substantial, but a pound a week doesn't seem like much, especially when, like, if you weigh yourself in the morning versus the evening, there might be 2 or 3 or 4 pounds different, right? So if you just focus on stepping on the scale maybe once every 2 months, maybe once every month, I'll say this. I know some people say, I have to step on the scale. I love it. I give you permission, not that you need it, to step on the scale, as long as when you do so, you don't have some sort of chemical reaction in your body, right? If stepping on that scale is either going to bring you joy or going to bring you unhappiness, don't step on the scale. I'd give you permission not to weigh yourself for the next 6 months. You don't need to do it. If you can step on it and you're just like, it's part of the journey, it's just fun, and it's like, oh gosh, I'm up 5 pounds, oh well, whatever. If you can let that roll off your back, which I don't think most people can, then go for it. But if you're the type that's stepping on it and then judging yourself in the process, or judging what you're doing and then questioning everything, stop it. Stop it. Right? Can you get my doctor says I'm healthy inside, don't worry about my weight. Boom. Allow your body to transform. Focus on fitting into your to clothes that you used to wear. Focus on being a little bit physical, getting some exercise in, and growing your muscles and allowing that transition to take place. So I'm going to throw my scaler out. I love it, Heather. I love it. Go by inches. Instead of having a scale, I've seen this before. What we should do is you should take a string and you should hang it on your wall, right? You tie it around your waist, find out what that measurement is. Boom, that's your waist string. And then do like a leg string, and then one that goes around here, and then one that goes around here. And then put those on your wall, or tack them to a bulletin board. And then every month, you do the same measurements again and see how your strings are shrinking. And watch as those inches start to go away. They might start to go away faster than the scale starts to move, because you're replacing a lot of that body fat with body muscle, which is where you want to go. So have you ever seen a scale go up and not be eating any of the bad stuff? For sure, Amanda, it happens. Again, it's possible that people in that process are gaining muscle, not actually gaining fat. If you're eating perfectly and you feel like you're stretching out of your clothes and you need to go get new clothes because you feel like you're getting bigger, I'd have to really look at what is it that you are eating. There's probably something going in that shouldn't be, or that's causing some sort of reaction. Maybe you're still drinking Diet Coke. Maybe there's something else that's going on. However, I would say 95 out of 100 people who eat keto and eat low carb and keep it low and actually stick to it, even if they don't see the scale moving, their body is making a transition. Their body is making a shift. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Hopefully you can take this to heart. I know there's a few of you that need to hear this right now, so I'm speaking directly to you. If that scale's getting you down and bringing you out of creating the lifestyle that you know you can live, put it away. Stop stepping on it. You don't need it. You've got this, right? It doesn't need to be a rapid weight loss journey. That really isn't what we're after with keto. We're after a lifestyle. The challenge with keto is that there are people that over the course of 30 days lose 30 pounds. Over the course of 60 days, they might lose 45 or 50 pounds, right? And it can happen fast for some. But you know what the definition of misery is? Comparison. If you want to be miserable, just compare yourself to everybody else you see on Facebook. I saw a meme on Facebook or somewhere. A friend of mine shared it with me, and it said, we're like popcorn. When you put popcorn in like a thing that has hot oil in it and it's heating up and spinning around, all of those popcorn kernels are similar, but for some reason they don't all pop at the same time, right? There's one that pops first, one that pops last. Think about that. Isn't that interesting? So you have the same popcorn at the same heat, it's being spun around. By theory, it all should just go bam, and you should have popcorn. But the reality is that's not the way it happens. Every popcorn kernel pops at a different time. So in this journey, yours is not going to look like everybody else's. Yours is going to look like yours. The sooner that you can just focus on how do you feel, where am I going, what am I doing, how am I enjoying the process, the longer term success you have, and this is how you're going to create a decade of health rather than just 30 days of rapid weight loss. So you guys are all amazing. Thanks for being on. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember